Do you have intrusive thoughts that nobody should probably hear? Me too. Let's get into it. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first episode of Please Be Random. My name is Austin Bates, and I want to welcome everybody to the show for the first time. We're going to jump through quite a few little weird situations and stupid stuff, just whatever flows, you know. We're going to try and keep this episode relatively short. Don't want to go too crazy on the first episode here. Got a couple of topics that, have run through my mind today, the last week. Number one being, and this is because this has happened to me today, since when did everybody forget how the hell to drive? Anybody else relate to that? I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. So, I live in West Virginia, and the west side of this state right now is going through a crazy amount of construction. Well, the problem is you have two options. To get from like where I work back to my house, you have two options. You can get on the interstate, which is 64, or you can get on Route 60 and get back to my house. One accident happens on that interstate. One. Even if it's minor. The whole interstate is completely backed up because they have these giant barricades in the middle of the road separating the lanes. Well, when the interstate backs up, the highway 60 backs up just as much. I mean, you're sitting in a parking lot either way. You're on the road in a parking lot, if you understand what I'm saying. So, today, on my way home, I literally watched this guy switch to the left lane, go about 3 cars up, switch back to the right lane, and then end up switching back into the left lane after he's behind the cars that were behind him to begin with. The whole time in my mind, I'm sitting here thinking, like, you've held this side of the road up 2 or 3 times now and have gotten absolutely nowhere yourself. And then don't even get me started on 4-way stop signs. That I have one in the work parking lot. When you stop at the stop sign, if you tie with the guy to your right, the guy to the right goes first. Rule of thumb. Except for when you're 90 and you could give 2 shits. That's about the only time that doesn't apply. Right at the 4-way stop in my workplace, you have a gas station, a Fazoli's, and then this big medical facility off to the right. Well, all of these older people go in here for whatever reason, and either coming in or going out, get out of the fucking way. Because these people are goddamn insane. Absolutely insane. First of all, they're going 50 in the middle of the parking lot, or they're going -2 in the middle of the parking lot, which is, in my opinion, both just as dangerous. Red means nothing to these people. I don't know if when you get older, you're just colorblind or don't give a shit or a little bit of both. But a stop sign means nothing. The rules of a stop sign mean nothing at all. And it just drives me nuts. Absolutely drives me nuts. And then this is my favorite, and I'm sure literally all of you could relate to this. You're going down the interstate in the fast lane. You're just cruising along, doing 75. Passing, a car here and there. You may hop back over for just a second just to get right back over in the fast lane. And then all of a sudden, the guy in the right lane's doing 69, and the guy in the fast lane in front of you is doing 69 and a half. So technically, they're using the left lane as they're supposed to be using it, but you're stuck behind them for 4 miles, watching them go inch by inch by inch by inch past the car on the right. I've never wanted to use the median so much in my life. Take my Nissan Kicks and just whip it into the side of the median and flip them off on the way by. Fuck you, Grandma. Get out of my way. Get out of the fast lane. You want to go slow? That's what the other lane's for. Anyway, moving away from how people drive, which I guess you could kind of relate the two. Bad driving and bad dating experiences. Who else here on, listening has been bamboozled or fooled or mistreated is the big one on an online dating site? Because if you haven't, you've never used one. Not once. Not one time. Before I met my fiance, Good God. Not only are the options limited, very slim pickings. I mean, you have anywhere from crazy methed out mother of three that has ran off all three separate baby daddies, or a fake profile that you're like, there's no absolute fucking way that they liked me. There's no way that they swiped right. No way. And then the ones in the middle are either catfishing, which is still a thing. Old phrase that has been applied to new times, let me tell you. Makeup is wondrous. And, you know, they have a million different filters on Snapchat now, so how the hell are you ever supposed to know who they are? Ever. It's stupid. But, like I said, before I met my fiance, good God. Number one, I don't have a problem with women that have kids. I would say it's a pretty small percentage of women that have kids that are single that didn't have problems themselves, but they are out there. I mean, there's some of them out there that, you know, the man was just a psycho, because don't get it twisted. I 110% believe that men are just as bad, if not maybe a little bit worse than women. So don't get it twisted. But I don't want you all to sit back and think that we are the only assholes. Not even close. Not even close. There are psycho women out there, psychos. This is more related for my men, I'm sure. They can get a little out there. I'm not gonna lie. It's just kind of, it's not good. It's not good. And I love the ones that are definitely not pretty enough to act as cocky as they do. Those are probably my favorite, because I'm a very blunt and open person. You guys will probably find that out the more you listen to this podcast, but very blunt and open person. And by God, I'll tell you about yourself. Listen, Linda, you live in a studio apartment with 3 kids from 3 different baby daddies. You do not have the right to talk to me about any of my life accomplishments. None whatsoever, which there aren't very many big ones. I will admit that. But I don't have 3 separate baby daddies for 3 separate kids. Just kind of throwing that one out there. Which, you know, that kind of leads us into the next thing I want to talk about. How many times have you guys been sitting at work, or on your way to work, or on your way home, or hell, for some of you, I'm sure it's while you're at home. How many times have you wanted to stand up, look at everybody around you, and just go, fuck this shit, I'm out, bye? That is an everyday occurrence for me. And the sad part is, my job, I work alone. When I go to work, all of my stuff is where it's supposed to be. And then when I leave for work, all of my stuff is put back where it is supposed to be. Rinse and repeat. And I still sometimes want to go, yeah, fuck all this. Ain't worth it. Ain't worth an ounce of the bullshit that we have to put up with. Not even the tiniest bit. I feel really bad for anybody in the medical field, my fiance included. She's a receptionist in an oncology department, and the stories I get from her are crazy. Nuts. Insane. You know, no HIPAA violations or anything like that. It's just kind of more so the lazy ass coworkers or the mean fucking doctors, or, you know, anything like that. And I don't personally deal with much of that. I deal more with the DMV, which, you know, I'm sure some of you think that is worse. And it can be, but my job's a little different. I'm working with the DMV in a way. So it's, you know, it's different. It's not quite the same thing. But the medical field, my mother and my grandmother, and now my fiance, have all worked in the medical field, and I've never heard anything good aside from, you know, like favorite patients or favorite situations when patients have come in, or, you know, things like that. But never once have I heard them say they love their jobs. They might love a couple of the doctors that they worked for, or, like I said, certain situations, but never once have they come home and been like, I'm happy as shit, love my job, love it. Not once. I do love my job, but I deal with some pretty irate people sometimes that make me just want to jump across the desk, you know? Everybody does. It's just pretty normal, to be honest. So moving on from, you know, how many times in a day do you want to say fuck this shit? Let's talk a little bit about Weird situations to have certain kinds of background music in. First one that comes to my head, and I've thought about this as like the old 2002 Super Bowl commercials. I'm going to set the scene for you. Mom and a dad just got checked into the hospital. They're getting ready to have a baby. First baby. She's going through labor. She's been in labor 13 hours, 14 hours. She's crowning. Process is happening. Doctor pulls the baby out, shows the parents the baby, and inspirational music comes on. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, it's like somebody walked in the room with a boombox, and you hear, da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da, and it's like the dad slow motion cutting the cord and raising the baby up in slow motion, and then the mom's just laying on the bed, sweat dripping from her pores. Her eyes are sagged. She's been in labor for 12 hours, like, and the dad is just slowly raising this baby up with like a big giant smile on his face, and all you hear is da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da in the background. Oh, I can only imagine how that would go down with my fiance. I can only imagine. We have a kid, and I was there for her. The stirrups weren't cutting it, so I had to help a little bit. And if I would have done something like that, you guys wouldn't be hearing my voice right now. I can almost guarantee it. Almost guarantee it. If I raised that baby up to inspirational music and acted like I did all the work, probably the easiest off I would get is I'd be living under the bridge under 29th Street exit and just popping a tent, living out of my tent and eating scraps. That's probably best case scenario. Worst case scenario, I'm dead. Funeral 3.5 years ago. Guarantee it. I can almost guarantee it. Another situation, let me give you this. You've worked all day, and you're the type of person that doesn't take public shits, right? So you're at work, everybody, you don't want to use the community commode, no Browns to the Super Bowl jokes at work for you, you know. You get home, haul ass out of your car up to the front door, drop your keys. Okay? That's shit show number one. Drop your keys. You finally get the right key. Put it in the lock. Get the door open. Say you got dogs. Dogs are going nuts, right? You're like, fuck y'all, gotta shit, be right back. Okay. Go down the hallway, open the door, go in, close the door, lock it, turn the vent, and for the love of God, turn the vent on. Be courteous to anybody else in the house, please. Turn the vent and the light on. Pop up the toilet, and as you unzip your pants, pull them down and start to sit on the toilet. Out of the damn air vent in the floor, you hear dun-na, dun-na. It's like the Jaws theme song, man. Would you sit down? Because I got appendages. My shit hangs a little low. I'm not trying to sit down when there is probably the most terrifying shark music going on in my mind from me being a kid. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. All our toilets are connected to the ocean. Ain't no way. Nope. Ain't doing it. Speaking of animals, you know, situations with background music that would be weird involving animals. Say y'all go to the petting zoo, right? And you're 18, 19, 20 years old. You're young. All your buddies are like, hey, fair's coming to town. You know, you get there. It's street food, normal stuff, maybe some live music going on. You check everything out, and you're like, hey, there's a new petting zoo over here. Walk around the corner. Pay for your ticket, buy some of the little vending machine food for the goats and stuff. As you walk past all the pins, there's a DJ up on the hill that just all of a sudden he turns on Let's Get It On by Marvin Gaye. I'm sorry. If that's your niche, by all means, whatever. You know, just don't let me ever fucking hear about it. I don't want to hear about it at all. Speaking of which, I'm sure you guys probably already know this, but there are sections of the internet that you might be curious about. Trust me, don't. Future episode conversations. Those are future episode conversations, but I can promise you, don't fucking do it. Don't do it. You will regret every ounce of your life. Okay, here. For any of my people that know what I'm talking about, when somebody told you 2 girls, 1 cup, or 1 guy, 1 jar, what is that? I'm going to go home and find out. You went home and you cried for 3 weeks because you couldn't get that image out of your mind. So when I tell you there are parts of the internet that are not to be discovered by normal human beings, that kind of ties into the whole goat fucking thing. You don't want to know. You don't want to know in the slightest. So please take my advice and believe me when I say don't search it. Don't search it. Just anytime somebody's like, dude, you should look this up, just revert back to 2010. Oh no, it must have been later than that. Revert back to like 2006, 2007, whatever it was, when everybody was like, dude, did you see this video, 2 Girls, 1 Cup? And yeah, just remember that. Anytime you want to go hit that Google search button, you just remember those videos. No good. No good at all. So I thought about this the other day. Matter of fact, it's kind of been a reoccurring thought since I've moved down here and moved in with my fiance. We had our kid, all that stuff. I've never once in my life seen a horror movie about a haunted trailer, like single wide down in the holler trailer. But I'm pretty damn sure we got somebody roaming around in this house. So when I first moved down here, I don't know if you've ever had this like feeling in the back of your neck that like just it just something about the situation creeps you the hell out. Every time I open the door to the room that I'm sitting in currently, the way a trailer's set up, if God forbid if none of you have ever been in one before, literally it's like an aquarium for humans. So from one end to the other, you can just see the whole house. Well, I'm always back here like 11:30 midnight, kind of like it is right now. And you open the door to this room and you look out of it. The whole house is dark. And then in our room in the very back of the trailer, there's always either a night light and or the lizard light that is on. We have a little leopard gecko, whatever. Side note, squirrel. Anyway, there's always a light on in our bedroom back there. So for a while, it was like off to the side. So like it would just light up the edge of the doorway. And just in case you haven't ever seen the movie The Grudge, first thing that pops in my mind. Absolute first thing that pops in my mind. Me no likey. Me no like. Me no like. Thank God trailers don't come with attics. Because I wouldn't fuck with it. Not even a little bit. All on you, babe. Have at it. You need some Christmas ornaments? Get your motherfucking ass up there, because I ain't going. Ain't happening. Not going to happen. Anyway, so every time I open this door, every single time I open this door, that room is like half-ass lit up. It's gotten a little better since we moved the lizard, but it's half-ass lit up. And I don't know what it is, but it freaks me out. Freaks me out. Every single time freaks me out. And I'm like super into like ghost stuff and used to plow into Ghost Adventures show like all times of the night. I love it. I love ghost stuff. But there's something about this house. It's just, I don't know. Maybe they need to invest in, some low budget. Just try it out. See if anybody would watch the haunted trailer movie. So here's the point though. Here's what I'm getting at. So my fiance tells me after the second or third time that I bring this up that her aunt and uncle found some like 1800 cemetery on their hill right next to our property. And I'm like, have you never ever watched any kind of paranormal activity movie literally ever? Like that is the first 15 minutes of the fucking movie. They find out that the new housing complex that's been built has been built on an old Indian burial ground, and they all end up getting drowned in the pool or fucking summoning demons into the house, or, you got to call in some specialist or a priest or whatever to come burn fucking sage throughout your whole goddamn house. And, so I'm sitting here talking to her, and I'm like, fuck, I'm just like, constantly sitting here looking at her with my eyes wide open, almost in that like, are you gonna figure it the fuck out pose? You know what I mean? Like, you're saying all these things about finding a fucking cemetery on the property that is old as dog shit, and then you want to look at me like I'm crazy when I tell you I think our trailer's haunted. Like, all these movies are brand new houses that they've put on old Indian burial grounds that all of a sudden their fucking cat ends up missing, and then 20 minutes later, 2 minutes later, whatever, however fast the movie progresses, the cat ends up scratched to pieces and the guts are hanging out and hanging in the fucking closet. And next to go is little Timmy, who says he's had an imaginary friend the whole fucking time, and you're just like, he's 6. He'll have that. And then, all of a sudden, the dad goes psycho, kills the whole family, and blows his brains out in the fucking bed next to everybody. So kind of looking at her every time we talk about this, and I'm like, what are we going to do if, movie magic turns into real life bullshit? She just kind of dodges it. And I'm still, this is a call for help. Somebody call a priest. I need an old priest and I need a young priest for my single wide motherfucking trailer. I need you to come perform an exorcism on my trailer and burn some sage. It'll probably take you a whole whopping 5 fucking minutes. Shit. Speaking of moods, who in the fuck else has been in their car, been pissed the fuck off at the world, or sadder than fucking Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh, and you got your phone on shuffle on the way to or from, or what the fuck are you just driving, cruising, and you got that sumbitch on cruise and it's playing the shuffle mode, and I don't fucking care who you are, mad, sad, whatever, your phone is a fucking mind reader. You get pissed off, I swear to God, it plays the hardcore ass rock music every single fucking time. If you're sad, it turns on fucking See You Again by goddamn whoever. I can't even remember their fucking names now. My point is, your phone is fucking listening, okay? Your phone's listening, and the camera on the front-facing one is watching your ass. And if it sees a tear, it's like, watch this bullshit. I'm turning on See You Again, and on top of that, it's not just the fucking song. You gotta watch the music video too. Watch Paul Walker's dead fucking ass just drive away from Vin Diesel, and you're like, I'm not gonna cry. I'm a grown ass man. I'm not gonna cry while I drive down the road. I don't want anybody to see me picking my nose because I got dried boogers in there and shit. I ain't doing it. I ain't gonna do fuck. And then you just break down and you're done, and that's it. Or you just got done resisting every ounce in your body from kicking your coworker in the fucking teeth, and then you get in the car and it sees that front-facing camera, and it's like, here's some fucking death metal, and you're just like, all right, fuck it, let's drive my car off a cliff today and headbang the whole fucking way down. Swear to God, on my life, every single time, doesn't matter what fucking mood you're in, your phone's watching you, your phone's listening, your phone is everything. Which is true. It's pretty much everybody's thing. If I don't have my phone, which most of mine is because we have kids, and if she needs to get hold of me, I got it, and blah, 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 blah. Responsibilities, but all these teenagers and shit that didn't grow up like we grew up, and, you didn't have that shit. My first phone was a fucking Nokia flip phone with a blue screen that you played Snake on for 4 hours because you didn't have anything else to do. Then, Guitar Hero came out, and that was the fucking end of that. But all these teenagers with all these fancy-ass smartphones that they got handed when they popped out of their mom, they're so dependent on these goddamn things now. And the problem I have with that is, number one, you're not social. Number two, I truly believe that these things watch you and are paying attention and are listening. For sure they're listening, because the other day I was just having a conversation with my fiance. I don't remember what we were talking about, but not 5 minutes later, we were watching The Sopranos on TV, and my phone heard it. And when I opened up Facebook, it was saying stream The Sopranos on this, and this. And I'm like, never once in my fucking life seen Sopranos on my Facebook feed. But now all of a sudden, we watch it on TV, and my phone hears it, just a bit of it, and now it's like, oh, here, watch it on this, and no. Promoting other streaming services. I'm just like, that is, dude, if you don't think your phone listens to you, at least at bare minimum, I personally believe that they're listening and watching at the same time. But if you don't believe that your phone is listening to you, wake the fuck up. Just talk about something for a solid half an hour. I don't care, pull your mom, your buddy, I don't care who you talk to. Pull them to the side and be like, hey, listen, just talk to me about this subject for like half an hour. I'm testing something. And then give it 30 minutes. Get on your phone. Open Facebook first. First thing you do, open up Facebook. Guarantee you in the first, 3 or 4 swipes of swiping up on your feed, I guarantee an ad related to something that you were talking about pops up. I guarantee it. Absolutely guarantee it. I understand when you are like searching YouTube videos for, like, say, just because we're doing one, a podcast, right? And then you get on Facebook and there's a bunch of ads about microphones or whatever. That I understand. You're putting something into a search engine that is also inputted into an algorithm that, is kind of connected to literally every other algorithm in the system. So I get that. But when I'm just discussing something, or the other day when my Facebook feed was like, here, watch Sopranos on this, this, and this. I swear to you on my life, did not search up The Sopranos. Ever. That's all her. She found that on something prior, I don't know, one of the streaming services. She found it and she started watching it, and I was just sitting there watching it with her, and then all of a sudden, here it is on my Facebook feed. So I truly believe if you think that your phone's not listening to you, you need to wake up. Because I can promise you right now, I'm old enough to tell you, the little snake blue screen Nokia flip phone that I had absolutely was not listening to us. But thinking back on how smart our phones are now compared to then, that was probably the dumbest fucking phone you could ever have. I mean, you literally had to, and then you said you. It took you that long to type the word you into this text message. So I'm not complaining on how far we've come, but I am complaining on how much they listen. Of course, the whole government conspiracy thing about, they make all their decisions based off of what the FBI agents listen to that are listening to your phone. I make the joke all the time, like, hope you caught that, Mr. FBI agent, talking shit about, this, and this. But I don't know. I mean, I can't get past the ignorant people that don't realize some of these things. Just drives me nuts. Anyway, guys, that's about 30-ish minutes. So we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. This has been a great first episode. And let me just say, I do love talking. It's fun I can get all this off my chest. And I will say it's a lot easier to do when, you don't have arguments and you don't have this and that. And it's nice to just be able to go, wow, I got that off my chest. And then hope and pray that when it's posted, all y'all get on the same page with me or already on the same page, So I just want to thank everybody for coming to the first episode, anybody that does show up. And I do plan on trying to post every week. So if you guys like this episode and you want to hear some more, give me some ideas or anything like that, my email is on my Spotify profile, I'm pretty sure. And you're more than welcome to send me like random thoughts that you've had throughout the day. I have zero problem reading some of those off. Just make sure if you put in, or send me an email, make sure you put in there if you want your name disclosed or anything like that. But yeah, so if you guys enjoyed this video, I really appreciate it if you would subscribe, follow, do whatever you got to do. I do plan on posting every week, and I hope to see you guys back again next week. You guys have a good one.